Hello students, in today's video I am going to discuss the topic relations and functions. Before we go to the topic, let us recall some basics. First one is the definition of set. What is a set? Set is a well-defined collection of distinct objects. For example, set of prime numbers. So when I ask you the set of prime numbers, you will write 2, 3, 5, 7, etc. So it is called as a set. Now next concept that you already learned is the Cartesian product. Consider two non-empty sets A and B. Then the collection or the set of all the ordered pairs from A to B is called a Cartesian product, and it is denoted by A cross B. A cross B is defined as a set of ordered pairs AB where A belongs to A and B belongs to B. B belongs to B. So that is the definition of A cross B. A cross B, the ordered pair. What do you mean by ordered pair? Order is very important. That means the order in which the elements occur is already fixed. That means the first element A should belong to A, should belong to the set A, it is fixed, and the element B should belong to the set B. If you interchange, then it is different. You cannot interchange. That means AB is not equal to BA. The order, if you change, then it is different. Okay, so what will be B cross A? The B cross A definition will be B comma A where B belongs to B and A belongs to A. So you know that they both are not equal. Okay, ordered pair. So A cross B is not equal to B cross A. This is another concept you already learned in class 11. So A cross B is not equal to B cross A. That is a concept that you learned. Now the next concept, the next important thing we are going to learn today is relation. So what is a relation? Relation is again a set of ordered pair, but here relation is nothing but a subset of A cross B. If A and B are two sets, if A and B are two non-empty sets, then relation is nothing but a subset of A cross B. So what is A cross B? Set of all possible ordered pairs. So relation is a subset of that. It can be the full set A cross B or a part of it. A cross B. Relation should be a part, or it is called subset of A cross B. So relation is a subset of A cross B. So whenever we are asked to form a relation from A to B, then element of R should be in A cross B. I'll give you an example now. Suppose a set A is 1, 2, 3. The set A is 1, 2, 3 and set B we take it as something 4 and 5. So now I'm going to form a relation. So you know what is A cross B. What is A cross B? All the possible ordered pair. That is, suppose if I write A is 1, 2, 3 and set B I will write it as 4 and 5. So what is A cross B? 1, 4, 1, 5. 2, 4, 2, 5. 3, 4, 3, 5. So I will write A cross B first. A cross B is 1, 4, 1, 5, 2, 4, 2, 5, 2, 5, 3, 4, 3, 5. This is your set A cross B. Now I'm going to form a relation here or define a relation as all the first elements. Okay, when the first element is odd. So when I say the first element is odd, I will write 1 4, 1 5, then I will write 3 4, 3 5. So this is a relation because R is a subset of A cross B. Suppose if I write another relation, I'll name it as R1. R1 is 1 4, 2 5, 3 7. Is it a relation? No, because 1 4 is there, 2 5 is there, 3 7 is not there. So this R1 is not a relation. Is not a relation from A to B. From A to B. It is not a relation for this. A to B, it is not a relation. So you understood the concept of relations. So relation is nothing but a subset of A cross B. You know what is A cross B? Set of all possible ordered pair from A to B. So and also you know A cross B is not equal to B cross A. The order is fixed. It is very important. So that is about the relation. So let us now define a relation from A to A. I am going to define a relation from A to A. Okay. So that is, suppose the set A is, so instead of A to B, I have replaced B by A. So A, I will take it as 1 2 3. 1 2 3. So what is A to A? What is A cross A? A cross A is, so you know it is from A to A. So A to A. So I'll write A as 1 2 3. Here 1 2 3. So what is A cross A now? A cross A is 1 1. All the ordered pairs, isn't it? 1 1, 1 2. This is 2. Okay. Yeah. 1 1, 1 2. Then 1 3. Then 2 1, 2 2, and 2 3. 3 1, 3 2, and 3 3. That's all. You can count, it will be 9. Number of A is 3. N of A cross B is N of A into N of B. You should know this also. So here number of A cross B is multiply the number of elements in A and B. Here A and B are same. So 3 into 3. Number of elements here 3, here also 3. So totally 9. So A cross A is 9. Now suppose I am going to define, I am going to write a relation R as, so R is defined from A to A, set of all the ordered pairs A, B, where A minus B is equal to some 20. That is, the difference should be 20. Can you find two elements? A is 1, B is 1. Difference should be 20. Do you have anything like that? 1 3? No. 2 1. Difference is not 20. We cannot find. Isn't it? So this is an empty relation. So what is the definition of empty relation? R, the relation R is empty set, nothing. But it is a subset of A cross A. You have learned about subset. Every empty set is a subset of the set. So empty set is a subset of A cross A. So this empty set, if the relation is empty, then this relation is called as empty relation. Now second example is, suppose I just name this as 1, R1. Now I am going to name another relation. Another relation R2 is AB, where modulus of A minus B, the difference, is greater than or equal to 0. That is, the difference between them should be equal to 0 or greater than the modulus. So what is this 1 minus 1? 0. 1 minus 2, the difference is, the magnitude, the modulus is 1. 2 minus 1. 1 minus 3 minus 2, the difference, modulus is 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. 2 minus 2, 0. 2 minus 3, 1. Modulus is 1. 3 minus 1, 2. 3 minus 2, 1. 3 minus 3 is 0. It is either 0 or greater than 0. So what will you write as a set R2 now? Is the A cross A itself, isn't it? R2 is A cross A, the full set. Here R1 is the empty set, here the full set. So this relation is called universal relation. So if the relation has all the elements of A cross A, then it is called as universal relation. Now these two relations, that is empty relation and universal relation, sometimes it's called as trivial relations. Okay, so you know what is empty relation, universal relation. Let us now define the types of relation. You learn three definitions. You know what a relation is, what an empty relation is, what universal relation is. Now let us learn types of relations. The first relation is reflexive relation. So what is reflexive relation? Let us see what is reflexive relation. A relation R in a set A is reflexive if A comma A belongs to R for every A belongs to A. This is every A belongs to A is very important. So this is pure max. In pure max, these words there exist, or for all, such that these words are very important, and if you change it, then it will change the definition itself, or sometimes it will change the property itself. So these words in pure mathematics is very important. So for every, for all. So for every A belongs to A, if A comma A, the ordered pair A comma A belongs to R, then that relation is called as reflexive. A. So let us give an example now. I'll take the same example. Set A I'll define as 1, 2, 3. So for every element A belongs to A. So what are the elements of A? A can take the value 1, or A can be 2, or A can be 3. Isn't it? So every A belongs to A. So let us see. A belongs to R. A belongs to R. Whatever that means. That is, the elements are, for every element, 1 means, what is the first element? 1. So you should have 1 comma 1. Next element 2. 2 comma 2. Next element 3. You can have the other ordered pairs. For example, you can have 2, 3. All these you can have, or if it is not there also is okay. But for every element, the elements are 1, 2 and 3. You should have 1 comma 1, 2 comma 2, 3 comma 3. Then it is called a reflexive. So this is a reflexive relation. Now I'll give another example. Set A. I'll name this as R. R1. Next I'm going to name it as R2 is 1 comma 1, 2 comma 2, 2 comma 3, 3 comma 2. Is it reflexive? No, this is not reflexive, because for every element, this word very important, for every element, for all, or for all the elements. So for example, if you take 1, 1 comma 1 should be there. If you take 2, 2 comma 2 should be there. 3, 3 comma 3 should be there. If it is not there, this is not reflexive. Now we go to the next relation, that is symmetric relation. Symmetric relation. Okay. So If AB belongs to R, the reverse pair BA should be there in R. For example, suppose if I take 1 1 3 2 2 3, this is 1 1 3 2 2 3. So if I take 1 1, the reverse pair is 1 1, it is there. If I take 3 2, what is the reverse pair? 2 3, it is there. That is enough. Not necessary everything should be there. If 3 2 is there, the condition is if 3 2 is there. If it is not there, leave it. If 3 2 is there, it reverse pair 2 3 should be there. If, give us example for non-symmetric. I'll take an example. 3 2 2 3 2 1. Now this is not symmetric. This is not symmetric. What is the reason? 3 2, if I take 3 2, 2 3 is there. If I take 2 1, 1 2 should be there. That's not there. So this is not symmetric. Now we'll go to the third relation, transitive. Transitive relation is if AB belongs to R, AB and BC. If AB and BC belongs to R, then AC should be there in R. That means if 2 3 and 3 2 belongs to R, if 2 3 and 3 2 belongs to R, then 2 2 should be there in R. That is, if 2 is related to 3 and 3 is related to 2, then 2 2 should be there. That is, there is a common link between two pairs. What is that common link? 3, isn't it? For example, I give another example of 4 6 and 6 5. There is a common link 6 6. If there is a common link like that, then 4 5 should be there in R. If this is there, if this condition is there. Okay, the very important thing is, in a relation, if this exists, if this hypothesis or if this condition exists, only then we should check for the other condition. If AB and BC exist, if AB and BC, that is a hypothesis, if AB and BC exist, then we have to check for AC. Suppose if this condition AB and BC doesn't exist, that is, then in that case it is taken for granted, that is, it is transitive. So this very important thing is, that is, in case if this hypothesis is not there, that is, if this condition is not there in the relation, then trivially it is taken as a transitive relation. Okay, because the condition doesn't exist means we cannot check for transitivity. If the condition doesn't exist, then we need not check or we cannot check. So it is taken trivially as transitive. That important concept you should know. Okay, I'll give you an example. The same set A will take. Suppose the relation, this R is 1 2 or 2 1 2 3, then 1 4 and 1 3. For 1 2, immediately check, is there any ordered pair starting with the 2? Yes, 2 3, correct. Then you have to see if 1 3 is there. Yes, 1 3 is there. You have to check for everything. Now next element, 2 3. Do you have any ordered pair starting with the 3? No. So we can just leave it. The condition is not satisfied if it exists only. Now take the next one, 1 4. Do you have any ordered pair starting with the 4? No. So just leave it. 1 3. Do you have an ordered pair starting with 3? No. So leave it. So 1, 2 and 2, 3 exist. This condition exists. 1, 3 also exists. So it is transitive. Okay. Now suppose another example I'll give. 1, 2, 1, 3. Yes, 1, 2. Now just check, is there any ordered pair starting with a 2? No. Just leave this. Take next element, 1, 3. Is there any ordered pair starting with a 3? No. Just leave it. 4, 5. Any ordered pair starting with 5? No. So the condition is not there. AB, BC is not there. The condition doesn't exist. Even then it is transitive. Okay. So that's very important. If AB and BC belongs to R, and if this condition, if the condition AB and BC belongs to R, if this condition doesn't exist, then even then, so it is taken as, then it is, the relation is transitive. So if this hypothesis does, if this doesn't exist also, we call it as transitive. Okay. So there are, suppose if you take 1, 1, 2, 2, is it transitive? Transitive. So it's very important about this. This only is getting confused with the students. This concept should be very clear. That is, if AB, if the condition doesn't exist, if the condition is not there in that relation, then you need not check for the other condition A, C. So that is called transitive. Now, a relation is called equivalence relation. If a relation is reflexive relation, symmetric and transitive, then it is called equivalence relation. Today you have learned the concept of relation. The next class we will do the problems based on these concepts. Thank you.